I am so excited for an opportunity to share that we have a very special guest here with us today. We are honored to welcome to our graduation United States Army veteran and Medal of Honor recipient, Mr. Clint Romesha. Clint has dedicated his life to service, both in uniform and beyond, and continues to champion causes that strengthen and support our nation's warriors. He joins us today as an ambassador for PureTalk Cellular, a veteran-founded wireless company committed to sponsoring those who have served our country. PureTalk is a proud partner of K9s For Warriors and is sponsoring one of the warriors in this month's graduating class, making today's celebration even that much more meaningful. So it is my honor to invite up here. Please join me in welcoming Clint Romesha to the stage to share a few words.
And thank you, everybody. Really special to be here. I honestly can't express how much it means. You know, we all have our own journeys in life. This is like one graduation I'd actually show up to. I grew up in a town that was like 100 people. I can brag that I graduated in the top 14 of the 15 kids that were in my senior class. So this is a graduation speech I actually feel comfortable about giving. First off, a special thanks to the staff, the trainers, to the volunteers. What you guys do day in and day out, it wouldn't happen without that dedication, that commitment, and that understanding. You know, our sponsors. Again, I wouldn't be here without the connection through PureTalk. And it's crazy how, as we've been kind of talking today, those little connectors that you have in your military experience, later down the road, you see how they fit in. And with PureTalk being a veteran-owned business and that relationship, to understand that service to country doesn't end when you take your uniform off, but you still have more to give. It is just truly a privilege and a blessing to be part of that. You know, as I got a chance to kind of tour the campus today, you know, get a history and the background. I've known about K9 For Warriors for quite a few years. Like I said, this has been my direct interaction with them, though. And to hear, you know, the dedication and where it came from back in 2011, this idea that Sherry Duvall had. And even though she's not here with us, her spirit continues on here. And it just takes one person to have this thought, this idea. As the intent is to help end veteran suicide, we realize that's not a program, that's an outcome because of doing quality work. There's not one magic pill that's going to help end our veteran suicide issue. It's going to be our communities coming together to increase that hopefulness and take away that hopelessness. Many might look at what can a dog do for that. I mean, there's a reason we say dog is man's best friend. There's the old antidote of put your spouse in a trunk and put your dog in the trunk, and after a couple hours, open that trunk and see who's happier to see you. You know, seeing the stats coming out of this, I think 92% of the graduates from K9 For Warriors lower their use of medication. 82% have lowered their suicidal ideations. You know, again, service after country, after you take that uniform off, we have lost more veterans, more military men and women to a suicide than we lost in direct combat in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's truly, I kept hearing the term saving lives on both ends of the leash. Understanding, pairing our K9s up from these rescue facilities with our veterans to understand the trauma that the dogs have gone through and the trauma our veterans have gone through. It's so hard to put into words, that magical connection. As we used to call it, in my platoon, we called it, I'm trying not to say bad words, so I'm trying to resist. We call it PFM. It's pure magic. And I apologize for that, but importantly, though, we're here today with this latest graduating class, boys. I'm telling you, it was an honor, like I said, to get to hang out with you guys a little bit, getting haircuts, sharing some lunch. And I mean, this day is your day. So I'm standing up here. So then when I joined in 99, never in a million years did I think I'd ever meet a recipient, let alone be one. And I can tell you I didn't do anything special. I did what each and every one of you guys did, and each and every one of our men and women that have put on the uniform. We all raise that right hand and say, I'll go and do. The only difference is where our paths ended up. But like the 99.9% that has never worn that uniform in modern era, they never will get the experiences that you guys have been through. The challenges, the friendship, the camaraderie, the heartaches, the suffering, the time away from family. That is something we will always and forever have in common. I reflect back, and like I said, the most awkward thing I ever got called was a hero. Said when I received the medal, that's the first thing people wanted to say. Oh, Sergeant Rowe, you're a hero. Clint, you're a hero. And I'm like, no, heroes are those that don't come home. But just like K9 for Warriors, that's what I was. I was a warrior, and I got to serve with some of the best warriors I've ever known in my life. What a fitting title, K9 for Warriors. Gentlemen, again, your time in service is never going to be forgotten. The step you guys made to take this journey, and I know it wasn't an easy process. Some veterans have waited almost 2 years to get into the program. It's not something that just happens overnight. Almost 3 weeks away from your families. And I know as much fun as you guys have had here making the connections, enjoying your time with each other, it's also time to go home now. That's where the next challenge is going to start. You guys have been given the tools. You've been paired up with your new battle buddy that's going to have your back, that's going to crop dust you at night. But you guys took on a challenge not knowing what was next, understanding that we as veterans, the vast majority of us are doing really well. We're not all broken. We're not all victims. You guys are doing better than you think. But at times you need, just like everything you did in the military, you never did it alone. And sometimes you need that battle buddy that you know is going to be there and have your six. No questions asked. You guys are now the example as being graduates from this program for veterans that are sitting there thinking, man, I really didn't do anything. Someone else deserves it more. I didn't do anything special. Let someone else take my place. But again, it's those moments where it's hard to take care of your brothers and sisters to your left and your right if you're not in a good spot, if you're not ready to take on that. Because often we sit here and we think we don't want to be someone else's problem. I'll suffer alone. I'll figure it out. It takes truly a true warrior to understand when they need to step up and say, hey, I could use a little assistance. And it's not a handout, it's a hand up to each other. To be paired up now with man's best friend that is never going to judge you, that is going to sit there with those big puppy dog eyes looking at you, and your moments where you need that little extra kick, those moments that you don't even know, they're just going to put their head on your lap. They're just going to sit there and give you that look. Said, you guys might have taken the uniform off, but your service isn't ending. You guys are the example for so many other veterans now to show them and encourage them to be the leaders in your community, in your homes, in your networks. I can't thank you guys enough for allowing me to, have some lunch with you. Here's some interesting stories about tattoos in Germany. But to have this little bit of time with you guys and share those little moments, I can't express how much it means to me. And I'm so proud in each and every one of you for showing up for tomorrow. understanding there's things in your past that you can't change, but pushing forward, being the example for others is what we do best. And never forget that. Thank you, gentlemen. God bless.